today we're going to talk about the differences between the simple past and the present perfect. Okay?
Yes, that's right. We are going to explain this difference in this tense because in general it creates some confusion. So
Yes.
First of all, we're going to talk about the simple past, okay? And the main use of the simple past. What about the verbs in the past? Yes, the different types of verbs. And then we're going to talk about the present perfect. And at the end, we're going to do kind of an exercise, short exercise.
Yeah,
yes, to see
that's right.
if all of you people have understood what we have talked about. Yes, okay.
Of
course. It helps to clarify this issue. Okay, let's start with the simple past, right?
Let's start.
Okay. And here we are with the simple past. The simple past is one of the basic tenses and important tenses that is used to talk about finished actions, okay? When we say finished actions, it means that there is no result in the present. The action started and finished in the past. There's no connection to the present. So, for example, I will give an example. She lived in Mexico when she was a kid. So it means when she was a kid indicates a time, a past time. Yes, she's not a kid anymore. So that's why we say she lived in Mexico, a verb in the past, lived. Yes, so it's important to notice that the simple past is a finished and complete action that started and finished in a past time. Okay? Yes?
Okay.
Good. Then what happens? We have in the past the verbs, yes? And this is the problem with the verbs, okay? So we have two types of verbs, right? Regular and irregular. The regular ones are not a problem or not much of a problem. Why not? What is the ending of the regular verbs?
Yeah, because all the regular verbs end in ed, let's say ed, and we have different pronunciations for that ed ending.
Okay,
this is important.
Here with the ed ending, okay? The ed ending has three pronunciations. That is t, d, and id, okay? But
yes.
it's never pronounced ed because this is the typical mistake, okay?
Yes.
When we speak in the past and we use a regular verb, we tend to say, for example, talking about the same example as before,
yes,
she lived in Mexico when
yeah,
she
that's
was
a common mistake.
That's a common mistake, right,
yes.
Marlene? So,
yes.
In that case, the lived, the pronunciation is lived with a D,
lived.
Okay?
Yes.
Lived, right? And then we have, on the other hand, the irregular verbs, okay? The irregular verbs. What
yes.
happens with the irregular verbs? They change.
They change, yes.
Okay, they totally change. Yes, they like, we can give some examples, right? To see how they change, okay? For example, the verb know, yeah?
No.
To know. And the past is knew, right? Know,
yes.
Knew, yeah? And then we have another example of the verb buy. And the past of buy is, Marlene? Do you remember?
Bought.
Bought. Buy, bought. Okay, yes? Very good. So there is a list of irregular verbs, of course. Yes, that this is a typical list that appears in the books or everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a list of irregular verbs and you have to learn them. You have to, it's just with the practice and reading them and speaking them and listening to them. You have to practice, maybe learn by heart. Yes.
Yeah.
But, and you have to use them. This is the only way to learn this list of irregular verbs. And we're going to go back a little bit to the regular verbs with NED, because we mentioned that there are 3 pronunciations. Yes, I mentioned only one, the D
Yes.
in the example.
I was about to tell you.
Okay. you were going to remind me that I had to go to that. Okay. So then we have the D. And in which other verbs can we find the pronunciation D in the regular verbs, Marlene? Do you remember any other verb?
For example, we have the verb work.
Yes, that will be with T. That would be T. Yes, the other pronunciation. Then we can have the verb listen. Yes, listen. Yes, in the past ends with D. Listened.
D.
Yes, normally the sound N. Yes, is followed by a D. Listen.
Yes.
Open. Opened. Okay. Stay. Yes. Stay. Stayed. Play. Played. Yes. And as you were saying, work. Yes, the verb work. What happens with work? Yes. In this case, what would be the pronunciation of the past of that ed? How do we pronounce
of the verb work?
Of the verb work. We'd say worked. Yes, with a T. Worked.
With a T.
With a T. In general, the endings with a K, yes, is followed by a T sound. So, for example, worked, talked, talked, talked. Yes? Also,
yes.
there are examples like watch, washed, or finish, finished. Yes? Or watch TV.
Yes.
Watched. Yeah? Okay. And what happens with the third pronunciation, that is id? Yeah, id.
Yes, for example, we have the verb visit.
Visited, visit, visited. Yes, that's right. Visit, visited, visited. Yes, the ending is. Or we can say start, started. Yes, start, started. Decide, decided. Yes, those endings, id.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, now let's see some point, an important point that also we find in the simple past. Yeah, that is the auxiliary. Yes.
Okay.
In the simple past, we have an auxiliary. Which is the auxiliary, Marlene, of the simple past? Can you help me? Did. Yes, that's right. Did.
And if we are thinking about the negative form, it would be didn't or did not.
That's right. Didn't or did not. Very good. The auxiliary is just like a helper, yes, but doesn't have a meaning. Yes, right. It doesn't have a meaning. It's just helping you to indicate that you are talking, yes, in the simple past. Okay. And then after the did, let's see how we use did. Yes. Did, didn't is used in negative sentences and in questions and in short answers. Okay. Very good. For example, a negative sentence. Which could be a negative sentence, Marlene?
For example, we can say they didn't play tennis last Sunday.
That's right. They didn't play tennis last Sunday. So here we use didn't, and after didn't, we use the verb infinitive. Yes? Infinitive, no change here. Okay? Why? Because we have didn't. We already have the auxiliary. Yes?
Okay.
So that didn't is indicating that I'm talking in the past. So I don't need anything else, right? In a question, for example, a question with WH, which could it be?
Let's see. Let me think. What did she tell you? What did she tell you?
What did she tell you? Very good. What did she tell you? Again, here we did and then the verb tell. Yes? Tell infinitive. No change because it's in the question and the verb is in infinitive. Okay? What did she tell you? Now, when we answer, because I didn't say it before in the when we talked about the irregular or regular verbs, in the affirmative or in a sentence, in a common sentence, in affirmative, we use the verb conjugated in the past.
In the past.
Yes. For example, in your question, in this question that you made, that says, what did she tell you? The answer,
she told me the truth, for example.
Very good. She told me, told, the past of tell. She told me the truth. Okay. Well, this is one type of questions, right? With what? The WH question words, okay? Now, the other type of questions where we have the short answers.
Yes.
Yes, we start with the auxiliary, directly. So, for example, did the company hire new employees? Did the company hire new employees? And the answer, if we say yes,
I can say yes, it did.
Yes.
Or no, it didn't.
Okay, very good. We say it because we are talking about the company. Yes. And did, yes, it did. Short answer. Or no, it didn't. Negative. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So in these cases, we use the auxiliary. We use the auxiliary in negative questions, short answers. But in affirmative sentences, we use the verb in the past. Okay?
Okay.
And now let's go to another important point in the past, that is the time markers or adverbs of frequency. Yes, that we use here. And for the past, we have some adverbs or time markers that are, for example, yesterday. Yes, yesterday.
The most common.
The most common one. That's right. Yeah. And we say yesterday morning, yesterday afternoon, yesterday night, we combine, Then we have the other one that is last, okay? Last year, what else?
Last month.
Yes, last week.
Last week.
Last week. And then ago, ago. That this is in a phrase. For example, we say 3 days ago, okay? 3 days
ago goes at the end.
Yes, that's right. Ago is at the end. 4 years ago, 10 or 2 hours ago, okay? Yes. And then when we can also use in and at a time in the past or a year. In 2000, in 1998, okay?
Okay.
Okay, these are the main time markers that we use for the simple past. These are the markers that are that belong to this tense, this simple past. All right?
Okay. So when we see these time markers in a sentence, there is no doubt that we are talking about simple past.
Definitely. Yeah, that's right. Yes. So the time marker is like a tip, yes, a clue that can help you, to realize that we are talking about the past, right? This is very important.
Yes.
Okay. Well, now let's go to the present perfect, okay?
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
Present perfect. And, well, present perfect. Present perfect is a tense, a compound tense, and it's used to talk about unfinished actions, unfinished actions that started in the past and continue to the present. Yes, the action didn't finish in the past. The action continued into the present, okay? For example, I will give you an example.
Okay.
I have known Kate for 10 years. I have known Kate for 10 years. That means that I knew Kate, yes, in the past, and I still know her in the present.
In the present.
Okay? The action continues, right? Okay. Another use, a second use, is for an action in the past. It's a past action, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is more important, the action, than the time itself, okay? And here we don't use any time reference because it's more important the action than the time when the action took place, right? So actions, for example, I will give an example like I have traveled to Europe. I have traveled to Europe. So that means that I traveled in the past. Yes?
Yes.
But I don't use any reference, any time marker. Yes, no time marker. Yeah.
Okay.
Why? Because it's more important the action of traveling than when I did the action. Okay? Yeah?
Okay.
All right. And then we have another use. Yeah? Another use.
Yeah.
And this use is also for an unfinished action. Okay?
Okay.
Unfinished action, that means that started in the past and the action has a result in the present time.
In the present.
For example, I give an example. I have lost my cellular phone. Okay?
Okay.
I have lost my cellular phone. So it means that I lost it in the past. And now the result is that in the present, I can't find the cellular phone. I need to make a call and I can't because I don't have it. Yeah?
Okay.
Okay? Yes?
It's clear.
Okay.
Yeah. For me, I don't know for everyone here.
All right. Well, let's go to something important that I was almost I almost forget it. We use the present perfect is very much used in job interviews. Okay,
yeah. That's important.
This is a tense that is applied in job interviews. Okay, when you have to talk about your experience, where you have worked. Okay, yes, what you have done. Okay, so it's this is the tense for the for job interviews, present perfect and simple past. Okay, those tenses.
Okay.
Okay, and now let's go to the type of verbs that we use in the present perfect. Also, we use regular and irregular verbs. Okay, yes.
Yeah, here we have the same case as in the simple past.
Yes, but what happens with the, we use the same verbs, the regular and irregular, but this time we use the third column, the past participle, yes? When we say the third column, we mean that in the list of irregular verbs, we have the third column, we have infinitive, simple past, and past participle. Past participle is the third column, and this is the tense used for the present perfect. In this case, the regular verbs, yes, the regular verbs are the same, yes, the same as in the past tense, yes, it doesn't change. But when we talk about the irregular verbs, there is a change. They are not the same as the simple past.
No.
Okay?
In the simple past, we use the second column.
That's right.
And in the past, in the present perfect, sorry, we use the third column.
The third column, that's right. So let's give some examples of tense of verbs. The regular verbs are the same. For example, wash, washed, and washed, the same, yeah? Irregular verbs, the verb know. New
No.
in the past, and in the third column in the past participle is known.
Known.
Okay. Okay. Another verb that is irregular is give. Give. The past is gave, and the past participle is given. Okay. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And there are some verbs also that are the same in the past and in the past participle, like buy. Buy, bought in the simple past, and bought in the past participle. Yes?
Yeah.
So this famous third column, yes, that we use here in the present perfect.
Yeah.
The present perfect, in this case, this type of regular irregular verbs are used in affirmative sentences, okay? Yes? For example, I will give an example like, he has washed his car.
Okay.
Yes, he has washed his car after a long time. Yes?
Okay.
And another example is, she has given a great presentation about the new product. Okay, with the examples
Okay.
with the verbs we mentioned before. Now let's talk about the auxiliary. Yeah, here also we have auxiliaries in the present perfect. Which are the auxiliaries, Marlene, here?
Here we have has or have. It depends on the subject we have.
Okay, that's right. Here we have or has. In this case, have is for I, you, we, and they. And has is for he, she,
it.
Yes, the third person. And the negatives are haven't and hasn't. Yeah? Okay. So we use have or has plus the third column verb, okay?
Yes, for affirmative sentences.
Yes, for affirmative sentences, yes. I have done my homework, okay? For example.
Okay.
She has made new friends recently. Yes, these are sentences in the present perfect. Now we can use also this have or has in negative and questions. Yes, in this case with the present perfect, we use all this structure in affirmative, negative, and questions. Okay, and short answers. Let's make a negative sentence, okay, as an example.
Okay.
Marlene, can you think about a negative sentence?
Let me see.
Yes.
For example, they haven't arrived yet.
Okay, they haven't arrived yet.
Yes.
Right. Very good. And another negative sentence with hasn't, because we said
he hasn't driven his car for a long time, for example.
Okay, very good. He hasn't driven his car, yes, for a long time. Yes, that's right. These are the negative. And questions, let's see some questions. For example, where have you been? When I ask you, hey, where have you been, Marlene? Yes, where have you been? Okay.
Okay.
And another question could be how long, with how long? How long has she worked for that company? How long has she worked for that company? Okay, yes.
Okay.
Then we have the other type of questions, yes, for yes or no answers. That could be, can you think of an example with a yes or no question?
Have you called Tom?
Okay, have you called Tom? Very good, yes. Yeah. Another one?
Has she
ever, with ever, we can use ever.
We can use ever.
Yes.
Has she ever
eaten?
I don't know.
Okay, has she ever eaten? Yes. eaten Japanese food? Has she ever eaten Japanese food? Okay, yes.
Okay.
And short answers in this case would be, if for the last example, that has she ever eaten Japanese food, would be yes. If we say yes, she has.
She has.
Or if you say no, is no.
She hasn't.
No, she hasn't. Just like that.
Yes.
In the first case, in the first example that you gave, that it's have you called Tom?
For example, yes, I have. Or no, I haven't.
No, I haven't. That's right. Okay. Well, and now what happens with the time markers in this present perfect? Yes, we have the time markers in the simple past. We also have the time markers or adverbs of frequency in the present perfect. So
yeah,
here,
of course.
Since, okay, since, yes, since 1999, since Monday, since April the 22nd, okay, that means a specific time in the past, okay? For example, she has been here since 2 p.m. Specific time, since 2 p.m., okay?
Great.
Then we have for, yeah? For a year, for a month, for weeks, okay? It indicates a period
of time.
For example, we can say, can you think of an example, Marlene?
She has had a cold for a week.
Very good. She has had a cold for a week, okay? For a week. It's a period of time. Yes, it's not specific. We don't know which week. Yes, okay?
Yeah.
Then we have other time markers that are yet. Yes, yet is used for negative and questions.
Question.
Okay? Yes?
Mm-hmm.
For example, in negative, we can say she hasn't arrived yet. Okay? At the end.
So it appears at the end of the sentences.
At the end. And in the can you think of an example with a question? With
has she finished her speech yet?
Very good. Has she
also
finished?
At the end?
Also at the end. Her speech yet? Okay. And then we have already. Already, yes, that we use in affirmative sentences. I have, for example, I have already talked to her. I have already talked to her, okay? Yeah? So, already is between have and talked. Between
the auxiliary and the verb.
And the verb. I have already talked to her, yeah? And then we have just, yeah? Just is another time marker. And just indicates an action that happened a few seconds ago, okay?
Okay.
Can you think of an example with just?
They have just left, or we have just left.
Very good. We have just left. That means that we left a few seconds ago, okay?
Yes.
They just left. Again, here the time marker is between the auxiliary and the verb. Okay?
The verb. Yes.
Okay. So let's make a summary.
Okay.
Yeah? Let's make a summary. Yeah. It's important to remember the difference. Yes, it's important to remember the difference between the simple past and the present perfect. So,
yeah, really important.
Yeah, really important. We use the simple past or past simple, yes, it's the same, for past actions or past events with no connection to the present. These events don't have connection to the present. They started and finished in the past.
In the past.
This is important. And we use the present perfect for actions which started in the past and are still happening now in the present, and possibly they may happen in the future, yes? Or for finished actions in the past with a connection to the present, with a result in the present. Okay? Yeah, but something important is that we can't use the present perfect with a finished time word. That means, if we give an example, I think it will be clearer. Yes?
Okay. For example, I have visited the museum yesterday.
This is right or this is wrong?
It's wrong.
Yeah. I visited the museum yesterday is wrong because I used yesterday. Yes? And I use I have visited.
Both times.
Yes, that's right. Yes. So, yes,
Yeah.
so we have to say, I have visited the museum. That's it, up to there. Yes, is the action more important than when the action happened?
Yeah.
Or we have to say, I visited the museum yesterday. Yes? Okay, yeah.
Great.
Well, I don't know if, I hope it's clear. This is the general structure and explanation of the difference between simple past and present perfect.